Healing the Alpha's wound. Previous episodes are available on playlist, a link is given in the video description. Episode 4. Chapter 51. I wake to the sun in my eyes after a beautiful night with Chase. I turn to find him gone. Frowning, I sit up and then hear the shower and smile. I climb out of bed and crept into the bathroom and the shower without his knowing. I wrap my arms around his waist and kiss his back. "Good morning, my love," he says as he turns to face me. "Good morning to you too," I say with a smile. He leans down and kisses the mark on my neck and begins sucking on it, making me wet between my legs. With this man, it doesn't take much for him to get me wet. Even a look from him can trigger my juices. He is just so perfect, and I love him with all my heart. He holds me like this, as we touch our foreheads, breathing heavily. "Wow," I say, and he chuckles. "I will never tire from this." Chuckling, he says, "Me neither. I will love you like this until the day I die." "Well, let it not be too soon." He kisses my nose. "Never too soon. I plan to be here to watch our pups grow up to be the alphas I know they will become." I smile at him. "I will hold you to that promise." We finally finished our shower and dressed and went to see our pups before going down to breakfast. Once at breakfast, we were served, and halfway through an alarm sounded and heavy footsteps rushed into the room. "Alpha, sir. We are under attack and there are many out there," one of the warriors said in a rush. Chase stood and told everyone to head to the safe room. Then he looks at me. "Get our pups and head down." I jumped up and kissed Chase and said, "Be careful and come back to us." "I promise." "Now go." I nodded and ran up to the nursery and told Karen to help me take the twins down to the safe room. "We are under attack," I tell her. We grabbed the twins and filled diaper bags and headed down to the safe room with the rest of their pups and mother and elderly. There were lots of seating to sit on and cots for sleeping in case. Even a kitchen stocked with food as well as a pantry. It was a huge safe room to accommodate hundreds. Chase has been talking about creating a second safe room for the higher UPS and their families one day. I keep telling him this is fine. We did have extra cribs and bassinets added for new mothers like me. Many mothers settled their young pups in front of a large screen TV with cartoons playing. It is a good thing this room is soundproof. Along with a secret hidden door that only pack members know about, and once the door shuts it cannot be seen or found. Now the hard part. Sitting and waiting to know what is happening. The last few times we were here, few women screamed at the loss of the mate bond when their mates died in battle. I pray to the moon goddess that I never have to go through it. "Please, goddess, keep Chase safe," I whispered to myself. Then added, "Keep all of our loved ones safe. The battle is bad, and I am glad for the safe room. I know my mate and pups are safe with the others. Now I can focus on what is happening on my pack land. Rogues everywhere. I was able to call assistance from our neighboring ally to help, so now we are together in this fight. I still am not sure if Jacob is behind this or not, but I am keeping my eyes open for him. So far it seems we are winning with the extra help of the Starlight Pack, and that makes me happy. We got this. It seems most of the dead I see are rogues, which means it won't be much longer until we get this battle finished. I am anxious to get back to my family. We managed to push the rogues back towards the lake on the western border and keep the fight away from the pack house. The lake had plenty of open fields for the battle, which is why I mind-linked my pack to push the rogues in that direction. There seemed to be a lot more rogues than anticipated in the beginning. We were all doing great so far, with few casualties. I still see no Jacob, so maybe this was not brought on by him. Yet, it is still unusual for rogues to act like this. I feel a sharp pain on my neck as a rogue jumped on my back and bit down, drawing blood. I tried to shake him off, but he held on tight, biting into muscle. Then I feel another bite on my hind leg and another in front at my throat. I couldn't seem to shake them off and I feel my blood pouring from my wounds. I begin feeling dizzy from the loss of so much blood as the wolf on my throat punctured my vein. I couldn't stand it as I was feeling so weak. These rouges just held on tight as their goal was to finish me off. Suddenly the one on my back was ripped away from me, taking my skin with him in his mouth. Then the one holding my throat was pulled away and he too took some of my skin, leaving my throat open and bleeding. Last, the one on my hind leg let go, but I was so weak I collapsed on the ground and shifted back. I hear my betas shouting orders as I lay there barely conscious. Then I feel the hands of my warriors lift me on a stretcher and begin running towards the pack house to take me to medical. I wanted to know what is happening to the rogues, but I am too weak to even talk or mind-link anyone. He's losing too much blood. I hear someone say. We can't let him die. Another says. Half his throat looks like it is gone. How will he survive this? Says another. He is strong, he will survive this. That sounds like my beta. I hope you are right. I see the pack house. Not much longer. I know, just keep that pressure on his throat. Again, my beta's voice. Then everything goes black. I wake to sounds and I can't seem to open my eyes. I feel tugs and other sensations on my throat. Then I hear the doctor say, we need more blood. He is losing too much. We can't lose him. Get me more blood. Then darkness comes again. I wake, not being able to breathe, and struggle as I hear the doctor. He can't breathe. Hand me that instrument now. He demands someone. I feel him cut me and suddenly air rushed into my lungs and again I pass out. Suddenly I was laying on grass in the sunshine and sat up. I looked around and it looked like paradise. There was a lake and flowers everywhere with benches for sitting and beautiful trees, all kinds of trees. I stood and noticed I was in white. I felt my throat and it was normal. Am I dead? Then I saw her. The most beautiful woman with long white silvery hair and a white flowing dress. She seems to be floating towards me, smiling. His teeth were snow white and suddenly I knew who she was. Selene, the mood goddess. I fell to my knees with my head bowed. Goddess, I say with reverence. Am I dead? I feel her hand on my head. Of course, not my son. You have been badly injured. I have brought you here for a little rest. I look up at her as she continues, your family needs you and there is a bigger war coming. You must be prepared. I nod, thinking of my beautiful mate and the strange bond connecting her to Jacob. Why is there a strange bond connecting my mate to Jacob? I asked Selene. There is a reason and soon you will know why. You will have to trust me. I do trust you. You brought me, my mate. She smiled again as I stood. You must be ready to go back soon, my son. But for now, rest and eat, she pointed to a table laid out with food. I turned back to say something, and she was gone. I walked over and sat down and began to eat. I can't believe I have met the goddess herself. Once I was full, I walked over to the lake and sat down on the grassy bank. I felt peaceful here. The water is so crystal clear that I could see the colorful fish swimming below. Everywhere I looked there were so many colors. I wish Amy could see this with me. Then I begin to think of my mate and how she must be missing me. I can't help but wonder how long I am to stay here. I need to go back. My family needs me. Yet it is so peaceful I hate to leave. I hear a whine, look over at a bush, and see a huge black wolf staring at me. He had blue eyes like mine when it came to me. Triton. He whimpers and crawls over toward me. It is my wolf. I smile and put my arm around him, and he snuggles against me. Then it comes to me that this rest is for his recovery too. After all, we were both badly injured. I know, boy. We need this. But soon we need to go back. We are our mates waiting. Miami and your Sadie, as well as our pups. He whimpers again and licks my face in agreement. I smile. It is good to see you, boy. I say as we sit there watching the lake in comfortable silence. As I am sitting holding my daughter, I suddenly feel a sharp pain in my chest. I gasp and Karen noticed and takes my daughter as I doubled over holding my chest, my heart beating fast. No, no, no. I kept saying as tears slide down my face as I see in my mind Chase laying dead or dying on the ground. The pain is the mate bond, meaning my mate is dead or near dead. It can't be, he promised me to come back. After Karen placed Camille in a crib next to Cameron, she sat next to me and took my hand. This does not mean he has lost his life, hun. I have been through that pain, and it feels much worse than what you are showing. I can't reach him through the mind link. I gasp, holding my chest where the pain radiates from. It might be he is unconscious. He is strong, can you feel him still inside? Search that feeling. I nod and close my eyes and felt the bond. I feel his life source through the bond, but it is faint. But he is alive. I shake my head, open my eyes, and look up at her. He is alive. But barely. Hang on to that and try and send your strength through the bond to him. It will help him until you can get to him. How are you so wise? I asked her. I had to learn. Only my mate was far too gone to be saved. She said with sorrow in her eyes. I did as she asked and sent Chase through the bond strength, and a warrior opened the safe door and looked around. Spotting me, he calls me over. I look to Karen, stay with the twins. Yes, of course. Go. Go to your mate. I got up and followed the warrior and he lead me to the medical ward. We stop and he points to the beta. Kyle, where is he? How bad is he? Tears filled my eyes. Luna, he is in surgery right now. He is pretty bad. We were lucky to have found him when we did. I knew you would want to be here. That is why I had sent for you. Thank you, Kyle, I said, choked up with emotion. So we sat down in the waiting room waiting for the doctor to come out and tell us how Chase was. How is the battle? I decided to ask. We have them on the run. But until it is over, it is good to have the families stay in the safe room until I give the orders to let them out. Good idea, I say, wringing my hands in a nervous action. I am so concerned about losing my mate. He is my life. He and my pups are. I can't lose him now. A nurse came out and gave us updates as he is still in surgery. He is in critical condition. She did say his heart stopped, but they got it going again, and he is having a blood transfusion because he lost so much of it from his neck wound. I couldn't help the tears that begin to fall as she said all this. I just sat there after she left with my arms wrapped around myself and rocked while praying to the goddess. It was several more hours when the doctor came out to address us. He is out of surgery and in recovery now. I have to say it was touch and go, and at times it didn't seem he would make it. But our Alpha has a strong will now. It is up to him for the next 72 hours. I stood and asked, "May I go see him, please?" The last word was a whisper. He nods. Of course, you being near him will help speed his healing as you are his mate and all. I gave a watery smile. Thank you, I said, and took off smelling for his scent as I go in search of his room. As soon as I scented him, I opened the door as a nurse was just about to leave. I look at Chase laying on the bed with wires and tubes connected and the beeping of the heart monitor. He looks so pale and his throat is bandaged, as is his left arm. I felt someone come in behind me and found it was the doctor. He said, when they brought him in, he was still in wolf form. That is how we had to do the surgery. Once it was safe, we induced a serum that changed him back to his human form and finished the surgery before bringing him here. The doctor looked at me. I just thought you should know that detail. I nodded and said, thank you. Then I walked over and sat down on the chair next to his bed and took his cold hand in mine. I kissed his hand and felt tears fall down my cheeks. I love you, Chase, so very much. You have to come back to me and our pups. We need you. Please come back. I held onto his hand tight, like as if it were my lifeline to him. And at this point it probably was. I lay my head on the bed next to him with his hand on my lips as I cried softly. I must have fallen asleep because when I lifted my head it was dark in the room with a small lamp on. It was daylight when I first came in and now it was night. I looked at my mate and stood and kissed his soft lips, and just as I did the heart monitor beat faster. I gasped, Chase. I whispered and kissed him again for the monitor to do that same thing. He was reacting to my kiss and touch. I smiled, that's right, baby. Come back to me. After that moment with Chase and the heart monitor, all went quiet again as if he had slipped into a deeper coma. I felt sad but never gave up on talking to him. It has been 2 days since that moment, and I have been at his side 85% of the time. Karen has been great with keeping the twins safe. She is truly a blessing. She is the one who also has been having food delivered to me, as well as making sure a cot was brought in so I could sleep and rest. The battle had been over, and we won for now. I cannot help but feel something bigger is brewing. But I cannot focus on that right now. I have to focus on my mate getting better and waking up. I have to focus on my mate getting better and waking up. A few times I tried the kiss to see if it would work, but nothing happened. I cannot be discouraged. I have to stay positive. Chase is the love of my life. He cannot leave me. His pack needs him. His children need him. I need him. Come back to us, My love. Come back to me, please. I said, kissing his hand as I held it. The doctor is still unsure if he will make it through or not because of how extensive his injuries were. He has to make it though. He has people who love him. Please Goddess above, bring back my mate. Don't take him from me, please don't. I whisper into his hand as I continue to kiss it. I suddenly feel tears sliding down my cheeks and landing on our joined hands. It was then I broke down and sobbed my eyes out. I can't lose him. I just can't. We have been through so much already. I can't let him go. Luna. I hear someone behind me. I was so much into my grief I didn't hear the door open. It has been 2 weeks with no change. I am sorry. You might have to brace yourself for the worst. If he were going to make it, there would have been some sign by now. The doctor said, walking up to stand next to me. You should go and get some real rest. Go and see your pups. I shook my head. No. I am not leaving, nor am I giving up. He will come back. I know he will. I said, sounding choked up with emotion. I just need you to be prepared in case, no. He will wake up. I shouted at him in frustration. I didn't mean to, but I didn't want to hear his negative words. Yes, Luna. I will leave you for now. Please just try to rest and eat. Your pups need you healthy. I just nod as I hear the door close as he leaves the room. I breathe out a sigh and stood up, climbed onto the bed to lie down next to Chase. I don't care what he says. You will come back to us, to your family. I kiss his cheek and close my eyes, falling asleep. I open my eyes and find I am outside, and the sun is shining bright. The twins are in a bouncy swing for infants, and I am leaning against the strong hard body of my mate. I smile at the pups as they giggle in their bouncy, and I feel Chase wrap his arms around me, pulling me closer and kissing my neck where his mark is. I sigh in contentment and moan at his touch. You know I will never leave you, or our pups. I am always here, my love. Always. He says against my neck as he continues kissing me. I lean my neck more into his kiss and hum, I know. We are waiting for you. Please don't keep us waiting too long. I miss you. I know you do. I am on my way back soon, I promise. I wake with a start. That dream felt so real. I look up at my mate and whisper, I am holding you to that promise. Hurry back to us. Another week had come and gone and still no sign of Chase waking. I have been having more dreams with him and the pups, and a few times with just him and me being intimate. At times would I lie down next to him and continue talking to him. Yet on this one particular day, I again fell asleep with my arm around his waist and my nose in the crook of his neck where my mark on him lays. I open my eyes and see him lying there on a blanket on a field of wild flowers next to me. He was watching me and smiling. I smiled back. He takes his finger and strokes my face lovingly. I sigh, I love you. I love you too. I promise any time now. He says as he leans in and kisses me. I close my eyes as I feel his fingers running through my long hair. I open my eyes only this time I am back on the hospital bed with Chase, and he is looking at me with a smile, running his fingers through my hair. I told you any time now. He says in a rough voice that had not been used in weeks. Tears run down my cheeks. Chase, was all I could say as I land my lips on his. My Chase was now awake. He came back to me just like he promised. He held me in his strong arms and kissed me back. The heart monitor began to speed up and I hear the door open and knew it was the doctor by his smell. Seeing what was happening, he slipped back out, closing the door to allow us privacy. As I was resting in the special place the moon goddess left me, I went exploring. I came to this field and saw a woman lying on a blanket and 2 infants in a bouncy swing. The woman was on her side and her back was to me. I got closer and realized it was Miami. I lay down beside her as she opened her eyes and smiled at the pups as she sat up next to me. Then she looked over smiling at me. Then she turned and leaned her back against my chest and I wrapped my arms around her as she watched our pups. I began to kiss her neck where I had placed my mark. You know I will never leave you, or our pups. I am always here, my love. Always. I say against her neck as I continue kissing her. She leans her neck more into my kisses and hum, I know. We are waiting for you. Please don't keep us waiting too long. I miss you. I know you do. I am on my way back soon, I promise. Suddenly she and the twins slowly fade away and I am left alone. I lay down and close my eyes. Thank you, goddess, for that little time with her and my pups, I whisper. There seems to be no time here in paradise. Yet not too long from that moment I saw Amy again and this time she is alone. I ran towards her as she is lying in a field of flowers next to a crystal clear lake. I grab her in my arms and kiss her deeply. I love you, Amy. I say as I taste her, so much. I love you too, so much. She whispers. It feels so good. I miss my mate so much. Faster, harder, please, Chase. She says breathlessly and I give her what she wants. I feel her tighten around me as I know she is getting closer, and her breathing is getting faster. Oh, goddess, I am going to come, after with us both breathless and laying beside each other, I grab her in my arms and just hold her. I promise, not much longer and I will be there with you and our pups, I say before we both fall asleep. I wake up all alone and again thank the goddess for the time I had with my mate. The goddess allowed me a few more times with my family or alone with my mate. The last time I was alone with Amy as I was lying there on a blanket on a field of wild flowers as she was next to me. I was watching her and smiling. She smiled back. I took my fingers and stroked her face lovingly as she sighs, I love you. I love you too. I promise any time now. I say as I lean in and kiss her. She closed her eyes as do I and when I open them, I am laying on a hospital bed with my mate next to me asleep. I begin to run my fingers through her long hair and watch her sleep. Amy opens her eyes and sees me looking at her with a smile on my face as I continued running my fingers through her hair. I told you any time now, I said in a rough voice that had not been used in a while. Tears run down her cheeks. Chase, was all she could say as she lands her lips on mine. I held her in my arms and kissed her back, making my heart pound with such love for her. I hear a heart monitor speed up, then I hear a door open and knew it was the doctor. I recognized his smell. I hear the door close again as I mind-linked him that I was feeling okay and to give us some privacy. Being the alpha has its benefits. I continue holding my mate and kissing her, and when I begin to lick her mark, I felt her shiver as my teeth elongated and I remarked her as mine again. I made a promise and I intend to keep it. Nothing will ever keep me away from my mate. She is forever mine. I growl with my teeth embedded in her neck, then I feel her teeth enter the mark on my neck as she reclaims me. Mine, she says in return. It has been another week since Chase woke up and we reclaimed each other. He seems to be healing faster than the doctor thought and was due to be released today. I was so excited to have my mate home again. I am sitting in his room waiting for the doctor with the release papers. Chase is already dressed and ready to go. He is just as excited as I am. During the past week Karen and I brought in the twins, and they were happy to see Daddy just as much as he was happy to see them. At times he and Kyle conducted business and strategy in case we get attacked again. We all know something bigger is coming. We believe this past attack was to test our strength. But the Sacred Moon Pack is considered one of the strongest in the world, and that began with Chase's father, Remington Carter. He was an alpha one who never wanted to mess with. He ruled with an iron fist, yet he showed love for his pack, much the same way Chase does now. His mother, who I adore, Evelyn, is the one who helps teaches me about being a good Luna. She is the heart and tells me all the time, just how much I remind her of herself. They have me call them Mom and Dad, and it is so nice having parents again since mine died years ago. They are the typical doting grandparents and spoil the twins. Chase still goes to his father for advice on the pack business, and during the time Chase was in a coma they visited often to bring me fresh clothes and food. I love them to pieces. His father is here with Kyle and Chase as we wait for Chase's release to help with what we can do to prepare for the worst. We will need to call on our allies for help, Chase. Remington was saying. I have already thought of that, Dad. And I already made phone calls. All the packs are for us and willing to help. Kyle added. Remington nodded his approval. Good, seems you are already on top of things. Then he smiled, I taught you well, son. Chase smiled back. I only learned from the best. It seems the allied packs, once they heard all that Jacob had done to a Luna of another pack, it has turned them against him. As for his pack, Samuel has officially been made alpha and has become our ally also. Truth be told, he himself never liked Jacob and his ways. He has been making changes for the better of the pack, and everyone there loves what he is doing. I am so glad because Samuel is one of the few that treated me decently. In other words, he was one of the good ones in the pack. I hear he has been putting his foot down on bullying, and that means everyone will be treated equally no matter their status. As I said, he makes a great alpha. He even apologized to me on behalf of the pack. He didn't have to, but it warms my heart that he did. We turn towards the door as it opens and the doctor comes in with the forms to be signed so Chase could go home. I am so excited. Here you go, Alpha. Just sign these and you are good to go. Chase grabs the clipboard and signs and jumps off the bed. He grabs my hand and begins to walk out with his dad and Beta following behind. He leads us up to his office and sits at his desk with me on his lap and his father and Kyle on the leather chairs in front of the desk. Kyle, have you talked with Sam about his help? I know Jacob was their alpha, but Sam has been sworn in and received the alpha power. And I already made phone calls. All the packs are for us and willing to help. Kyle added. Yes, I have, and he is in. He may have grown up with Jacob, but he never liked him and became his beta from his father who was Jacob's dad's beta. Chase nodded, I get that, and it was a good call to have him take the position. I see him taking that pack and making it great. He smiles before adding, next to mine that is. We laugh at that last part. But it is true. I said, this is a great pack, and I am proud to be the Luna of it. Chase squeezes me and kisses my cheek. The goddess chose the perfect Luna for us, my love. I felt myself blush at his compliment. Chase looked at the time and announced it was the dinner hour, so we got up and headed to the dining to eat. After we ate, Chase and I headed up to our room to check on the twins, and seeing them fed and asleep, we decided to relax in a bath and soak. I was laying against him, and he had his arms wrapped around me, kissing my neck and shoulder. It felt so good to have my mate back. After all, I was secretly scared he wouldn't pull through, even though I convinced myself and others that he would. I am so glad you are here with me, Chase. I was so scared of losing you, I said as I hugged his arms closer to me. Baby, you will never lose me. One way or another I will always come back to you, always. He whispered the last word as he kissed my mark. Just never leave me, I whispered back. Ch 57. The next day we spent time having a picnic by the lake with the twins. They are getting so big, and little Cameron is looking more like me every day. Camille is looking so much like her mother with red hair that out in the sun looks like fire. I will have to battle any male wolves who look at her. We intend to raise them to understand the importance of waiting for their mates. Amy and I are laying on the grass with the twins sitting between us, playing with small baby toys. Looking at my family, I am full. My love for them is so great that I would do anything to protect them. I am still concerned with what might come next. I am not sure why Jacob and Amy are still connected, and the moon goddess would not tell me either. She says in time we will know. I guess I just have to be patient. So far he must not be in pain or anything like that, as Amy has not felt it. We know that the bond has been severed, as there have not been any betrayal pains either. It is just that strange bond that still connects them. I know because Amy has told me she still feels him, as I am sure he feels her. Goddess, I hope we find out soon what this is all about. I want my mate freed of him completely. I know she wants the same thing too. We had a wonderful time at the lake with our twins. It felt so good to be able to relax. I know Chase is still concerned with this strange bond between Jacob and me, but I have to trust the goddess, as she knows what she is doing. I have not told Chase, but at times it seems I can see images of places. It seems fuzzy at the moment, and for some reason, I feel they are places Jacob has been to. I also see faces of people and wolves I have never met. What this is all about, only the goddess knows. I just have to be patient and see what happens. As long as Chase stays alive. He keeps making promises to stay alive, but I nearly lost him 2 times. I keep praying to the goddess that we will have forever together. Today is a gloomy day with lots of rain outside, so I am feeling pretty bored with Chase in his office with Kyle doing alpha work. I have spent what I can with the twins, but they are asleep right now. Karen is down in the kitchen making homemade baby food for the twins. She has been doing this since they have come to eat solids now. I will be winging them off my chest in a month as they are getting older. At least it is taking less breast milk and more solids, and boy are they healthy. So, I am in my room with the baby monitor so I can hear if they wake up, and decided to watch some Netflix. There is a romantic comedy I wanted to see. Halfway through I heard a knock on the door. Karen was there with some snacks for me, and when she noticed what I was watching, her eyes lit up. I love this movie. Since the little ones are sleeping, may I watch it with you? I smiled at her. Of course, I would love the company. So here we are watching the movie together while eating snacks of different fruit and listening to the baby monitor too. Once that movie ended, we put on another and begin to laugh at the comedy. This is nice having someone to watch with. It helped with the boredom. As this movie was getting close to the end, I thought I heard a noise on the monitor. I looked over at Karen asking, "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" she asked me. "I thought I heard a noise in the monitor. Would you like for me to check on the twins?" Karen asked as she was about to stand, yet I stopped her. "No," I began shaking my head, "I will go and check on them." I stood up and walked to the door adjacent to our room and walked over to the cribs. As I looked down, both were empty, and I heard myself scream and run out the other door to the hall looking both ways. Then I ran back into the room, and that is when I noticed the door to the balcony wide open. I ran out and looked around and saw no one. I ran back in as Karen came running in. "My pups are gone," I screamed. Karen's eyes grew big and ran to the cribs just as I ran out and down to Chase's office and ran in breathless screaming, "They're gone." "What? Who is gone?" Chase looked at me puzzled. "Oh, my goddess, they are gone," I kept screaming in hysterics and tears poured down my eyes. Chase was suddenly there in front of me. "Calm down, Amy, what is going on? Who is gone?" "The twins!" I screamed at him, and he ran out of the office. I followed him up to the nursery and he looked and sniffed the air. "Rogues!" he shouted. "I will kill them all." I collapsed onto the floor as darkness covered me. I woke up on my bed with Mandy beside me. I looked around and didn't see Chase. "Where is Chase?" I asked. "He and the others are out looking for the twins. They caught a scent and are following it." That is when it hit me. My babies are gone. It wasn't a bad dream. I broke down and began to cry as Mandy sat on the edge of the bed wrapping her arms around me and letting me cry. Later, as we were drinking hot tea with honey, Chase walked in looking discouraged. I knew in my heart he lost the trial. My hand began to shake, and Mandy removed my mug as I broke down and cried. Chase came to me wrapping his strong arms around me. "We will find them. I promise you I will." He rocked me and kissed the top of my head as he let me cry on his shirt, getting it all wet. I just needed his comfort and promises that we will find our pups. I feel empty without them. Goddess, where are my babies? I must have fallen asleep because I woke to Chase speaking softly on the phone. I cannot hear what is being said as he is speaking softly. When he looked over at me, he noticed I was awake and ended the call. I was contacting our allies and asking for their help. I sent via text pictures of the twins. We have their best trackers out looking as well as ours. "Babe, we will get our pups back." I slowly nodded and closed my eyes as he began to stroke my hair and face lovingly. I moved to lay my head on his lap as more tears slid down onto his lap as he continued stroking my hair. As I feel tears of my mate land on my leg, the anger inside me grew. They have my pups. They are the cause of my beautiful mate's tears. I want nothing more than to destroy them all for causing this sorrow. My allies along with my best trackers are all out there helping us to find our pups. And once we do discover who has them, they are dead. They have the future of this pack and Luna, and we will get them back safely. For now, I have to stay strong for Amy. She needs me and I won't let her down. A few days have passed with no word and my sweet mate is falling into a depression. She stays in bed and barely eats. I cradle her at night as she cries herself to sleep. During the day I take time to go out and join in the search. I can't stay still. These are my pups. I have a suspicion as to who has them and believe me, I want to kill him, but with that bond between Amy and him, I cannot. I cannot even torture him without it hurting my mate. I am beyond angry. I want so badly to kill him and all who are involved. It wasn't but after a few days, more than a breakthrough came in. I was at my desk when a call came through from an allied pack. Alpha Chase. Speaking. This is Alpha Edwards of the Rainbow Moon Pack and I have news for you. I sat up more ready to listen, go ahead. My tackers discovered a colony of rogues nearby and verified that your pups are there. We were able to infiltrate their colony without suspicion and there seemed to be a couple of female rogues who are tending to your pups. Are they harmed? No. Not that they could tell. They seemed to be well cared for. I breathed a sigh of relief that at least they are not harmed. I was thinking, since I have a man on the inside, we could find out what their plans are and be ready to take them all down. It goes against the counsel of any wolf to steal a future alpha. Even a rogue. He says to me. Oh, I feel it is no rogue. It has to be Jacob, the ex-alpha of the Blood River Pack. He seems to be in control of these rogues. Yes, I remember him. Not a kind fellow to his omegas. He would use them and sleep with them, and from what I heard even rape those not willing. Yes, and he was the first mate to my mate Amethyst. I came and rescued her due to a dream the moon goddess gave me. I am her second chance mate. He is doing all this out of revenge. He tortured her by sleeping with others, causing her to suffer the pains of betrayal. He took pleasure in it. What a sick! I agree. Well, you have my devotion. I will stand with you against this sick, and we will take them down and rescue your pups. I appreciate this and have my thanks. I say with sincerity. Please keep me posted and we will plan out our next strategy together. Of course, my friend. We hung up and I leaned back and sighed. My pups were okay. Now we need to figure out how to get them out of there before we go to war. My beloved mate will be thrilled to know we found them. Only I can't let her know until we can get them away from there safely. It would only bring her hopes up too soon. I stood up and headed to my room where my mate still lay. I sat down next to her and began to stroke her soft hair. I have news. I begin to tell her. Rogues were spotted near the Rainbow Moon Pack and the Alpha believes our pups are with them. I couldn't tell her it was verified that they were in fact there. But I could allow her this much hope. She sat up and looked at me and smiled for the first time in days. Really? They think our pups are there? Yes. Alpha Edwards has a team going to check it out for us. That is great news, she says, throwing her arms around my neck in a hug. I wrap my arms around her, holding her tight as she whispers, please, goddess, let them be there and safe. Miami finally for herself up and showered and dressed for the first time in days. It was a few more days since that call that together with Edward and a couple of other pack alphas came up with a plan. It seems the one who infiltrated the rogues from Edward's pack happens to have found his mate in the main female tending to my pups. The goddess is with us. He was able to convince her to join him and help him rescue the pups. With the mate bond, she agreed as she would do anything for her mate. So once the twins are safe, we will surround the rogues and attack. We have also discovered that Jacob comes and goes a lot and seems to be their leader. The rogues will do anything for him. Even die for him. What kind of spell does he have on these rogues? Chase has told me everything and how the spy from Rainbow Moon Pack found his mate in the female rogue caring for my pups. So, they set up a plan to get the pups safely back to Rainbow Moon, where I will be waiting. Once the pups are back in my arms, they will attack the rogues. And hopefully, Jacob will be there with them so we could capture him and figure out how to remove this strange bond. It is now the night before we are to leave to head to the Rainbow Moon Pack, and Chase and I fell asleep in each other's arms. I find myself waking in a field of wild flowers in a beautiful crystal clear lake. I saw a beautiful wolf sitting by the lake watching the full moon above the water. Its reflection showing bright against the clear water. I begin to walk closer to the wolf when it turns its head towards me. I gasp when I see it is my wolf, Sadie. I have a message from the moon goddess. She spoke to me through Mind Link. As you know, we wolves are close to the goddess and can communicate with her. I nod at Sadie. What is the message? I spoke out loud. The reason for the unique bond is so you can have your revenge on Jacob for what he caused you and me. Only you can kill him to break this bond and set us free. So, she set up a bond that hurts me when others hurt Jacob. I asked, confused. This way no one can hurt him. They don't dare, knowing it would hurt you. This is the only way to be sure that he lives for you to get your revenge. I nod, I think I understand. But how will I kill him? He is stronger than me. We are stronger than you realize. Together we can do this and free ourselves from the bond. The goddess believes in you. In us. Sadie walks over to me and licks my hand. We can do this. And you must not tell our mate. He would keep us from being able to face Jacob. The moon goddess says not to tell. I won't tell him. I promise. Now, wake up. I wake up with a start that wakes Chase. What's the matter, Amy? I had a dream, that's all, I said as I saw the time on the bedside table clock and realized it was near morning. I snuggled back down against Chase as he wrapped his arms around me, kissing the top of my head. We will get them back safe and sound, he said as I just sighed and nodded my head in agreement. I must have fallen back asleep as I woke to Chase kissing me awake. I smile at him. Good morning, I say as I stretch. Good morning, sleeping beauty. You awake so we can leave after breakfast to get our pups? You bet I am, I say as I climb out of bed and head in to take a shower. Chase follows me in, and we take a shower together that turned into a love-making session as we got cleaned. We go downstairs and ate a fast breakfast and were met by Karen at the bottom of the stairs with a bag of baby things we will need for the twins on our way out. Of course, she will be joining us to help me with the twins once they are back safe in my arms. We climb aboard the SUVs along with about 70 warriors that are going with us. Good thing we own a bus along with 10 SUVs. Chase and I sat in his private SUV with Kyle driving and Karen sitting up front while Chase and I sat in the back. In the SUV in the lead were our best warriors, 5 in all. So is the one behind. Chase planned it that way so if we ran into trouble, we had the best to protect the Alpha and Luna. The Rainbow Moon Pack was a 5-hour drive, so Chase made sure we took a route to not draw much attention. The drive seemed to go by fast and soon we were pulling up to the pack house of Rainbow Moon. It was large but not as large as our pack house. We saw the Alpha and his mate the Luna along with what I assume is his beta outside waiting for us as we exit the SUV. Alpha Chase. And you must be Luna Amethyst. Chase shook hands with the Alpha and placed his hand on my lower back. Alpha Edward, thank you for having us. Chase turned towards me. Alpha, this is my mate and Luna, Amethyst, and my beta Kyle. Edward turned and reached for his mate. This is my mate and Luna, Elizabeth. Elizabeth smiled. Welcome to our home. She seemed pleasant that I took an instant liking to her. Thank you so much for having us, I said as I reached my hand out and she took it. This is my beta, Will. Alpha Edwards introduced the man beside him. Let us go on in and I will have my head warrior Paul take your warriors to the barracks where they will be staying. Chase nodded and we followed the Alpha and Luna inside. It was a nice and cozy place. They lead us into the dining room where lunch was set up for us. Afterward, the men went into the conference room with a few head warriors while Luna Elizabeth showed me up to the room I will be sharing with Chase. I thanked her and excused myself, explaining I was feeling tired and would like to take a nap. Oh, of course, you need all the rest you can get. I can only imagine after a 5-hour drive along with the anxiousness of finally getting your pups back. I smiled at her. Thank you. I will see you when I wake up. And thank you again for having us. No problem. We Lunas need to stick together. She smiled at me before turning and walking back towards the stairs. I closed the door and took off my shoes and lay down on the soft bed and fell asleep. I woke to Chase kissing my cheek. Hey, sleeping beauty. He smiled at me. Hey, I said back, stretching my achy muscles. I have good news. I sat up and looked at him. Tomorrow morning the twins are coming here. Alpha's informant is bringing them and his mate back. She wants to join the pack and be with her mate. Oh, Chase, I threw my arms around him and hugged him tightly. My babies are coming home. Are you sure they won't get caught sneaking the twins away? I asked with concern in my voice. No, because we plan to have their encampment surrounded and ready to attack once the twins and the couple are clear. So, that is the plan. I smile, then I think back to the last 2 times Chase was badly injured. You promise me to be careful and come back to me. Oh, babe, that is a promise I intend to keep. I am holding you to that. I then frowned. What about Jacob? He frowned back. Last we heard from the spy is that Jacob is going to be there. We also heard he is with a rogue female that he plans on mating with. I nod. I see. So, he planned to give me up. That we are not sure of. You of all people know how he is. He wants his cake and eat it too. What else would he have wanted our pups for if not to get you back? You are right. Now, let us go down to dinner. The Luna prepared us a special dish, then we need to get rested up before tomorrow. I nodded and got up and took Chase's hand as we walked downstairs to dinner. The next morning, I have not told Chase of my plans to follow and make sure my pups are safe. All I know is I need to be there. I have to face Jacob alone. After seeing the twins safe, he is my priority. I need to kill him for all he had done to my family and me. And mostly the pain to my wolf, since she took the brunt of it off me. I only hope that it does finally free us from that bond. I want nothing more than to have my life with Chase and my pups. We sat around and ate breakfast, then Chase and Alpha Edward as well as the two betas headed outside to the backyard, where I saw well over 200 warriors standing at attention waiting for the two alphas to speak. I stood just inside the French doors and watched. Luna Elizabeth walks up next to me. We have strong men. They will come back safe to us. I nod and sighed, I know. She patted my shoulder and walked out and stood next to her mate as he spoke to the men. I did the same and took and held Chase's hand. After the speech, our mates turned and kissed us before heading out. We stood there and watched, and as soon as Elizabeth went back inside, I quickly began to follow the men. I stayed far enough so they could not catch my scent, yet I could still see them. As I dressed this morning, I made sure to wear a sports bra under my black tee and yoga pants with workout shoes. I told Chase I wanted to use the gym in the basement to work off my frustration and concerns until the twins were back. I did confide in Karen about my plan and what the goddess said to me. I asked her to care for the twins until I get back. She agreed and told me to be careful. As we got deeper into the forest, I heard footsteps running toward me. I looked around and saw to my right a large bush next to a tree and scurried behind it and hid. I peeked out as I saw a couple running towards the pack house carrying something. As they got closer, I realized it was my pups in their arms. I smiled and breathed a sigh of relief as they ran past me. My pups were safe. Thank the goddess, they are safe. I stepped out of my hiding spot and began to head in the direction they came from. I walked about 1.5 miles more before I could hear fighting, so I knew the battle had begun. What I didn't expect was Jacob and one of his rogues, a female, running in my direction. This way, I heard him say to the female. I watched them run this way with the pups. Pups? He was going after my pups? Over my dead body. I jumped out of my hiding spot, and he stopped short, startled at first until he realized it was me. With a smirk, he said, "Well, well, well. What have we here? You will never get your filthy hands on my pups," I said, taking a stand. "Well now, you see. It wasn't the pups I wanted in the first place. It was you, and you walked right into my path," he said, still smirking. "And who might she be?" I said, indicating the she-wolf next to him. "She is my second chance mate. Tamara. Tamara, say hello to my first mate, Amethyst. If you have me, then why do you need her?" Tamara asked. "Because she and I still share a bond, and I think the goddess wanted me to have 2 mates." "What a sick thought, Jacob," I said, scrunching my face in disgust. You know I am mated to Chase. Then why are we still connected? I walked toward him nonchalantly. I don't know. Maybe ask the goddess. I say bravely. I got close to his mate as I brought out my claws and went behind her, slicing her throat. As she fell, Jacob turned toward me and screamed, "No!" He gave off a growl and came at me. I will kill you for that. I was ready and armed. He didn't see the wooden-handled silver knife I had hidden. I took a swipe at him as he passed by me. He yelled from the pain and turned to come at me again. I was surprised I am not feeling his pain through the connection. Must be because I am the one inflicting it on him. I hear a noise that distracted me, and Jacob grabs me from behind as the knife slips out of my hand. "Now I got you," he says in my ear. Epilogue 1. I follow the direction I saw Jacob and his head out. I know he is heading to get my pups. Over my dead body will he? I stopped short and gasped as I see him and my mate in a battle. She has a silver knife in her hand and turned as I stepped on a twig, snapping it in two, and Jacob grabs her from behind. She dropped a knife, and just before I could run to save her, she stomps on his foot and elbows him in the balls. As he bends over in pain, she grabs the knife and stabs him in the back. "You taking my pups, hurting me through the bond, hurting my wolf," she yells as she stabs him over and over with each word. Jacob falls to the ground and takes his last breath as his eyes glaze over, lifeless. Amy, in her frustration and anger, kept stabbing, and I ran over and grabbed her from behind as she screamed, "Amy, baby! It's me! He is dead! You killed him!" She relaxed in my arms and sobbed. She has never killed anyone before, and it was taking a toll on her. "It is over! It is over!" she kept saying as her tears slowed down. The goddess was right. I had to be the one to do it. "Do what?" I asked, with her still in my arms with her back against my chest. The goddess told me through Sadie that I was the one who had to kill Jacob. That was why the bond, so no one else could. It was for me to free myself of his bondage. She turned to face me. "I love you, Chase, and I love our pups." She smiled. "We are free. We can now live our lives without fear of him." "Yes, we can," I said as I lift her into my arms and begin carrying her back to the pack house. I can tell she is in shock, and I intend to take care of her. She is the love of my life. I am so proud of her. I feel honored to have a strong she-wolf as my Luna. And today she proved just how strong by fighting an alpha. A strong alpha at that. "My Luna warrior," I whispered as I kissed her temple. She sighed, wrapping her arms around my neck and laying her head against my shoulder. By the time we made it back to the pack house, she was asleep. I carried her up the stairs to the room we were assigned and laid her down. I kissed her head and brushed her hair off her face and watched my sleeping beauty. I hear a soft knock on the door and went to open it. It was Karen inquiring how Amy was doing. I stepped out the door into the hall and explained everything. "Thank the goddess that madman is gone," she said, and I smiled. "How are the twins?" I asked. "Fed, bathed, and asleep. They were well cared for." "I am glad. Amy will be happy to hear it." "Oh, I know she will. That young woman would die for her family. She loves you all with her whole heart." "That she does. As much as I love my family." I would do the same. I gave her a quick hug. Thank you, Karen. You have been a goddess-sent angel and we both appreciate you. I saw tears in her eyes. You both have become like family to me. I would do anything for you. I kissed her weathered cheek and went back inside to my mate. I took off my shoes and lay down on the bed beside Amy and pulled her into my arms. I love you, Chase, she says softly with a sigh. I love you too, my beautiful warrior. She giggled as she turns to face me. You and the twins are my life, and I would do anything to protect my family. I know you would, I say as I drew her near and kiss her gently on the lips. How are our pups? Karen has taken great care of them. They are asleep now after getting fed and bathed. She smiled sweetly as I told her, Goddess bless Karen for coming into our life. She says as she brings my face closer to her. And thank the goddess for you, my love, my heart, my life. I feel the same way. I smile as I bring my lips to hers in a kiss to show her how I feel about her. Thank the goddess indeed. Now we have a lifetime to be together. And I intend to enjoy every moment of it. Beginning now. 10 years later, Amethyst, POV, come on kids, you're going to be late for school, I say from the bottom of the stairs. Chase had a lovely home built for us close to the pack house. This gives us our own place to raise our pups. I am again pregnant with our fourth pup and our third son Caleb is on the living room floor coloring as he is only 4 and too young for school. I am due any day now and found out it is another daughter. We plan to name her Carol. May as well stick to C names. Chase loves it as his name begins with a C. It wasn't planned that way at first, it just happened when Caleb was born. I suddenly hear the rushing of feet coming down the hall from their rooms and I see them come into view at the top of the stairs. Got everything? I ask as they come down carrying their book bags. Yes, Mom, Cameron says and kisses my cheek. At 10 years old he is almost as tall as I am. I can tell he will be tall just like his dad. As for Camille, she is looking more like a miniature me as Cameron looks like his dad. Cammy too kisses my cheek as they both head out the door and to the bus stop. I can't help but smile. My life is full, and I am happy with this outcome. I can't say it was instantly better since I killed Jacob, as it was a rough couple of years. I was plagued with nightmares as according to the doctor, I was suffering from PTSD. I had never taken a life before and it left a scar deep inside. I am better now and finally got a handle on it. The nightmares are few and in between now. And when one does happen, Chase is always there to hold and comfort me. He is my rock when I need one. After seeing the twins off, I go back to the living room where my sweet Caleb is. I sit on the chair as my back is beginning to bother me and Caleb gets up and climbs upon my lap. Or what's left of it as my belly takes up a bit of it. Is Grandma Caen coming today? He asks me. My pups have been calling Nanny Karen Grandma from day one. She is so much like another grandma. Chase's mother thinks it's cute as she and Karen seem to have struck up a friendship. Yes, honey, she is coming over, I say as I ruffle his reddish-brown hair which he takes after me. Only with the blue eyes of his father. Yes, honey, she is coming over, I say as I ruffle his reddish-brown hair which he takes after me. Only with the blue eyes of his father. Chase walks in from upstairs and ruffles his son's hair and kisses me before saying, "Hey, kiddo, you going to be heading out soon?" I asked him. He nods, "Yeah, a couple of alphas arrived late last night for a meeting with me. Seems they want to initiate a peace treaty with our pack. And you know what that means?" I smile, "More allies." He nods, "More allies. Seems, after all, we went through in our pack being the strongest, more and more packs are wanting to become allies with us. We say the more the merrier. Maybe one day all the packs will be allied together and bring peace to all packs. Even ones in other countries are wanting to become allied with us. Word is spreading about what happened and how our pack has not only a strong alpha but a Luna strong enough to kill an alpha. That seems to be big news. Did I also mention all the councils in all the packs are talking about making us a royal pack?" He says as he knelt at my feet to talk at my level. "Are you serious?" "I am serious. They all have decided to create a monarch and crown us as king and queen of all alphas and lunas." "Why?" I asked, frowning. "They believe that we could help rule over all the packs. They say they have been speaking and discussing this for a few years now. If we wanted to, could we refuse?" "Would you want to refuse?" he asks as he lays his hand against my cheek. "I don't know, to be honest. That is a much bigger responsibility." "Yes, honey, she is coming over," I say as I ruffle his reddish-brown hair which he takes after me. "Only with the blue eyes of his father." "That it is, but if we refuse, they will only find another, and you know they may not want peace as we do. If we accept it, we can rule and keep the peace between packs." "You do make a valid point. I do want peace. Wow, royalty. Me a queen. And me a king." He smiles at me. "I feel you have already made up your mind on this," I said with a smirk as I know my husband. "Yes, I have. That meeting is scheduled for tomorrow and you are to be there by my side." "It was planned already?" I asked in shock. "I am afraid so. I only learned of this a couple of days ago myself. And you are just now mentioning it to me?" I frowned at him. "Only because you've been busy preparing for the twins' first day to school." Again, he had a point. I sighed, "Okay, I forgive you for not saying anything sooner. I was busy the past few days. Shopping for new clothes for the twins. Cameron keeps growing like a weed, so is Caleb. Cammy, I just wanted her to have new clothes for school along with getting school supplies." Chase stood and leaned to kiss Caleb on the cheek, then my lips. "I got to go. Why don't you come to the pack house and join us for lunch later?" I smiled, "I will do that." He leaves and I sigh. Queen. And to make our pack a royal pack. "I knew you were born for greatness," Sadie says, all excited about the possibility of becoming royal. "Well, don't get too excited as yet. It hadn't happened. We won't know more until tomorrow at the meeting. I am confident it will happen. I feel it from the goddess," Sadie says, wagging her tail. "Has the goddess mentioned anything?" "She may have. You will just have to wait and see tomorrow." Then she backs up deeper inside my mind. "Well, I guess we will see," I say out loud to myself. Epilogue 3. The end. 5 more years, Amethyst, POV, today is the twins' 15th birthday. Since that day years ago we were crowned and renamed the Royal Sacred Moon Pack and Chase, and I became king and queen. A huge palace was built, and we now reside in it with our family. Carol was born 2 months after the crowning and is now 5 and in school. Caleb is now 9 and always feels a need to protect his little sister. Cameron is in training and will one day be crowned king when we step down. Camille is a beautiful young lady and has many friends. The twins will be shifting for the first time tonight and we will all be there to celebrate. We planned a big party in the gardens of the palace. Many from different packs will be there. Of course, it won't be until they turn 18 that they will find their mates. I still cannot believe how time flies. Life with Chase is perfect, and he has been the perfect mate and father to our pups. It took getting used to having others call us Your Majesties. And being served hand and foot too. Well, we did have servants when we were Alpha and Luna, but never any handmaidens to help you do hair and makeup for parties and help you dress. Like with tonight. I have 2 handmaidens assigned to me and they are here now helping me dress and do hair and makeup for the twins' party. What about this dress, Your Majesty? Asked Shannon, one of the 2 who tends to me daily. I look over at the cream-colored dress and nod my approval. Bring out the cream-colored pumps too. They will be just fine. I said as Tracy does my hair in a twist-up do. Is Heather helping Camille get ready? I asked, looking at Shannon in the mirror. Yes, ma'am. And I must say she is looking as beautiful as her mother. She says with a smile. I blush at the compliment. After getting dressed I was finally able to go downstairs and to see about the decorations and the menu for the food. Everything was looking great for the twins' birthday, and I felt proud that I could do this for them. They both deserved it. As evening came, people began to show up and Chase and I began to greet the guest. Many were young ones, along with their parents from their school to join in celebrating their 15th birthday. Soon Chase and I looked up to see Camille and Cameron walking down the stairs. Camille was wearing a beautiful light blue dress and matching pumps. Her hair was worn down her back and she looked like a princess. Cameron was wearing a light blue dress shirt and black slacks and looked so much like his father that it took my breath away that these were my children. I felt tears brimming in my eyes, but I promised myself I would not cry, so I fought them back from falling. I noticed Cameron walk straight toward Amelia, Mandy and Stephen's daughter, who since childhood have been quite close. As Camille walked towards us. Figures, she said about her brother. Do you think they could be mates? She asked and looked at us as we watched our son interact with Amelia. He said something in her ear and I noticed how she blushed, making Cameron smile and lean down and kiss her cheek. I don't know, but seem like how they are acting it is a good possibility, I say as Chase nods his head in agreement. Camille sighs. I just wish I had someone like that in my life. It wasn't until that moment I realized how sad she sounded. Cammy, sweetheart, Chase began, you know you are still young. And I know that the moon goddess has a perfect mate out there for you. Just be patient. He will come. Again, she sighs, I know, Daddy. I won't be able to sense him until I am 18 anyways. But still, just then her friends came over and dragged her away. I couldn't help but feel bad. She sounds so lonely. But I know one day her mate will come into her life. Later, as the party was in full swing, a latecomer was announced. It was an alpha from another pack with his Luna and son. Chase and I went to welcome them when Camille was suddenly beside us staring at the son who looked to be a couple of years older. I noticed how he was staring back at her and I smiled. "Hello, Alpha Conrad, Luna Victoria," Chase begins. "Hello, Your Majesties. May we introduce our son and future Alpha of Blue Lake Pack, Noah." "Noah," I heard Camille whisper his name. "And this is our daughter, Camille," I say, introducing her. I heard Noah take in a breath and smile at Camille. "Would you like to dance?" he asked, holding his arm out to our daughter. Her smile widened. "I would love to," she said as she took a hold of his arm as he led her towards the dance floor. All we could do was watch as the two began to dance while staring at each other and laughing as they talked. "It seems you showed up in time and made our daughter's day," I said, smiling. "It seems the moon goddess has answered my prayers tonight as I look on watching my son dance with Amelia and now Cammy dancing with Noah, a future alpha of a prestigious pack. Yes, my life is full. I couldn't be any more happier than I am right now." Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.